You're welcome. It is Wake Up Nigeria for a Tuesday. Now, there are not so many places where you can find the right breakfast show that has what, it requires to kickstart your day.
Yeah.
But here,
we have it. We have everything you need. That's why
absolutely.
Whenever you hear the sound of that music, that tune, you know your morning is about to become beautiful. Good morning. Welcome to a brand new day right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. And a brand new edition. We promise every day here is going to be grand. Now, if it was a mix, I wonder what you'd call it. I don't know. What do you call that blend?
A refined, with notes of fruit and flowers and sunshine.
I like fruits. It's all good.
Getting a bit too much, right?
In any case, it's a Tuesday, and we intend to make your Tuesday a very, very fantastic one, especially the fact that you are only just going back to work today, since yesterday was a holiday for most of you guys. Wondering what you guys got up to on Democracy Day, or at least a day set aside to celebrate it, since it was a Sunday it fell on.
It feels like a brand new Monday for a lot of people. They're getting up, getting the kids ready for school, getting ready for work. Did you iron your shirt yesterday? Yeah, some people forgot.
Yeah.
My name is Titilayo.
And of course, my name is Mazino Peel. Stay with us, and remember, you can use, or rather stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect, okay?
You can also download the app. Very important you have it, whether you're using Android or iOS. You can always use the app to connect with us and watch live. Also, connecting with us at TVC Connect for social media is a very good idea.
Absolutely, people. Now, let's let you guys know what we have for the show for a Tuesday. We begin with our health segment, and we'll be discussing glaucoma, the thief of sight. Dr. Okra Collins, an alumnus of the University of Benin, will be joining us. He is a clinical and research optometrist with an extensive scope of work that has seen him practice across geographical zones.
And when it comes to parenting, we're going to be looking at helping your toddler adjust to a newborn. Yes, that little sibling that just came to, turn that baby's world upside down. Yeah. That newborn needs the information we are going to be sharing with you today. Oluyemisi Agoro is a family-oriented lady. Now, she dedicates herself daily to unlearning and relearning skills and methods to increase her ability and capacity when it comes to balance.
For musical performance, singer, songwriter, and also YouTuber Ayodeji, popularly known as Ideji, I think I got that right, will be here to thrill us with some music.
And finally, we're going to be joined by Julie Ako. She's a seasoned filmmaker, passionate about telling impactful stories. Can't wait to have a great conversation. Welcome.
Welcome, Tuesday edition here, and there's no excuse for you guys to actually say, no, I have to get all my job done tomorrow because it's a Monday. No, it's a Tuesday already.
Yeah.
So stop passing the buck to the next day, okay? Welcome to the Tuesday edition here, and of course, Titi.
Yeah.
Very interesting thing I saw on social media yesterday after filtering through all the angst and the hatred and everything that people are spewing on there. But there was this very peculiar video of of a couple walking naked through the streets of Abuja. And later it was discovered that the couple were actually high on drugs. Eventually they were arrested, and also they tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Really
alarming
when
it hits you face on. But sadly, there have been reports of drug abuse becoming its own pandemic.
Exactly.
In a sense,
that's the word.
Over. And I know there's still a bit more to the story.
Well, except that they tried to commit suicide. They were arrested. They're getting help, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
There's not much to it after that.
Yeah.
But the truth is this, like you said, raised the note that there is a pandemic.
Yeah.
And it'll surprise you that this is not something that's only coming to Abuja. Also here in Lagos, there have been reports, very many reports of people who are regular people like you and I who are actually addicted to drugs. And it's becoming something that's becoming normalized.
It feels like there was some kind of smokescreen or scale over a lot of people's eyes in regards to this issue of drug abuse.
Yeah, you stereotype people of a certain look and think that these are the drug addicts.
Yeah, they think about the so-called street kids. Those, and then the ones who dress a certain way, maybe the dreadlocks and the torn jeans and things like that. They have stereotyped them to be those sort of people. But in the end, there are normal, everyday people in suits and ties.
Corporate people.
Corporate people also, on this sad journey downhill. Drug abuse is something that a lot of people have ignored.
Yeah.
And I've heard that there are quite a few rehabilitation centers that are popping
Have you
up
been
in
to any
different
of these
places.
rehabilitation centers, by the way? I think they're a problem themselves. I've been to a couple, and I tell you that it's not a sane place. It's not a place that you actually, unfortunately, quite frankly. So I think this call should actually be for proper centers that can help people rehabilitate back to normal sense of living without being addicted to drugs.
It's a sad one, it's a scary one, but it is the reality we find ourselves in.
Well, good to have you join us on the news here on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's begin in Rivers State, where supporters of the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have predicted victory for the party in the 2023 presidential elections. That was the message when a large crowd of party faithful took to the streets of Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, and some rural communities to celebrate his emergence from the APC presidential primary. Senior reporter Uche Okoro has more in this report.
For some hours, the Port Harcourt International Airport looked more like the venue of a carnival than a transit point for air passengers. Thousands of women, men and youth gathered to receive the most vocal supporter of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this part of the South-South region, Senator Magnus Abe. Having worked hard for their preferred flag bearer in the build-up to the APC presidential primary, Senator Abe is leading this procession to celebrate the outcome. This was also a means of reminding Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's supporters of the task ahead to ensure victory in the 2023 presidential election. From Port Harcourt, the procession headed for Bera community in Gokana local government area. For them, the APC presidential candidate holds the key to unlocking Nigeria's economic potentials.
There is no other person in Nigeria that can do what the Jagaban of Africa can do. I want to tell you people, forget the kitty and the kata. The next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
The outcome of the Rivers State APC governorship primary casts a shadow on that of the party's presidential primary in Abuja. But Senator Abe is still confident that in 2023, the electorate will get a chance to choose between him and other governorship candidates.
It is Rivers people that will take the decision as to who will govern them. And you are the Rivers people. I have said this from day one, and I will continue to say it to the end. My own name is Senator Magnus Ngei Abe. I will be on that ballot.
The crowd also witnessed the launch of Project Senator Magnus Abe 2023, an initiative to drive their campaign in the build-up to Election Day. Uche Okoro, TVC News.
And away from politics and outside Nigeria, Amnesty International has accused Russia of war crimes during its efforts to capture the northeastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. In a new 40-page report, Amnesty documented the alleged use of cluster munitions and other indiscriminate means of attacks. The report states that the repeated bombardments of residential neighborhoods in Kharkiv and indiscriminate attacks, which killed and injured hundreds of civilians, and as such constitute war crimes. Amnesty's researchers say they documented 7 strikes in different areas of Kharkiv where they found fins and pellets of cluster munitions. More than 120 countries have signed a treaty prohibiting the use of weapons, though neither Russia nor Ukraine are signatories. That does it for us here on the news at this time. I'll be back on the other side of 8 with more top stories. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to keep it here on TVC for the rest of Wake Up Nigeria. We are back in just a moment. Good morning.
You're welcome. It's still a Tuesday morning here for Wake Up Nigeria, and I have with me the headlines you will be waking up to this morning. Let's start from the Punch newspaper already. This headline greets you, says good morning to you. Southeast PDP demands Atiku's VP slot. Party dismisses Obi's threat. Party leaders hold crucial meeting with Atiku today, say Obi's popularity only on social media. Former Anambra Governor, a phenomenon, will shock PDP at presidential poll, campaign team say, and only running mate slot can rest Southeast votes from Obi Anambra PDP spokesman says. At the top of the Punch newspaper, national electric grid crashes from 3,703 megawatts to 9 megawatts, says the federal government, and 40 Owo massacre victims get mass burial on Friday. NNPC supplies 1.5 billion liters of fuel in 3 weeks. Abuja queues persist, and workers shun Lawan's appeal. Continue strike as National Assembly resumes. Let's move on now to our next daily for this morning, The Guardian newspaper. Front and center for The Guardian, PDP narrows VP choice to Wike, Okowa, and Udom. Reps PDP caucus expands search to Ayim Namani. Stakeholders suggest 1999 model of Obi Kwankwaso alliance, and Indigbo unperturbed about rumors of VP slot, vows to produce next president. At the top of The Guardian newspaper, APC inviting national, or rather nationwide crisis, with Muslim presidential ticket groups warn, and stakeholders task parties and issues-based campaign for Osun polls. Gunmen abduct politics, or rather Catholic priest in Plateau State, and how helicopter shelled southern Kaduna villages by survivors. At the bottom of the paper, we see the photo story for this morning. All Progressive Congress National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu and a few others at the House of Representatives during the 2022 Democratic Day at the Eagle Square in Abuja. That's the picture right there. Now, let's move on to our next daily for this morning, and that, of course, will be the Daily Independence. And we agreed it with this headline here. Buhari CPC bloc insists on picking Tinubu's running mate. We should plan to win, not fighting for position, Tinubu's group say. To the side of the photo story this morning here, steady drop in forex inflow worrisome despite CBN's efforts on page 7, and on page 29, neglect of Southeast in power equation sending wrong signals. And lastly, for this paper, police begin manhunt for abductors of bishop, wife and driver. Gunmen kidnap Catholic priests in Plateau communities. And that's as much as we can take for this morning here for the papers. Do stay tuned. We've got more coming your way inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
Oh,
welcome back.
Yeah.
All right, time for what's on up. What's on and up.
People don't want to welcome me.
Mike, you're welcome, man.
If somebody enter your house.
It's very funny.
Wait, if somebody enter your house, as I enter now, you don't greet the person first.
How did he?
You have food for the person.
How did he
or
ensure?
drink.
Was he invited?
Did he send
a WhatsApp message? Did he call?
And the person enter.
That's arm robber.
But the thing is, for parties, if you didn't welcome the person, but the person wore Ashwebi, you know the person is one of us.
Well,
Says
the culture. Exactly. Very true. You know what?
Repeat color.
I want to do something so that we match real
really?
good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Really?
You start on today's topic, please.
Okay, while you're taking off your tie, I was wondering, what is the first thing you guys do when you get to the house of a potential partner? So this is the first time you're arriving in this lady's house, right?
Okay.
What is the first thing you do? Maybe she gets up and goes somewhere. You have maybe 5 minutes alone.
I remember Bestman saying
What do you
something.
do?
I think Bestman said something about, I'm going to first of all look for my exits.
Exit.
Yeah, I don't know why he...
Exits?
Exits.
Exits? Okay, the quickest way to leave?
Exactly.
Why? Why?
In case.
Just to do-
He's back.
Wow.
But
Okay, so
I'm sure you were
we're
onto something. What were you talking about?
We're talking about single. You're single. The girl is single.
Okay.
This is actually a potential partner. You're not going to meet another man's wife. No,
What would
that's
you do?
probably what he was talking about.
What the first?
But I'm just thinking. The first thing I do is check out the guy's kitchen.
Oh.
That's the first thing I do. First of all, if the kitchen is a bit too clean, he most likely has a girlfriend or another babe that's looking after that kitchen.
What if he doesn't use
Right?
it?
What if he doesn't use it? If he
I
doesn't
was
use it,
gonna
it will
let
be
it land.
dusty. It will be dusty.
Okay.
It'll show signs of neglect or
Okay.
lack of use.
Okay.
If the sink is too dry, like, okay, yeah, he doesn't wash dishes. If there's too many takeaway plates, this guy doesn't cook. Like, I just
So
start...
you kind of like profile him
Yes.
from his kitchen.
Profile him from the
Yeah,
kitchen.
I've got a better
Yeah.
way to profile people, but
How?
I'll tell you that as a bachelor, first off, my
What?
kitchen was never in use. However, it
Yeah.
was still in a very good state.
It was tidy.
It was very tidy. It had
It was
everything
tidy,
in
yeah.
it, but it was just, I just left it so.
But you had a babe in school now. You had someone that used to come in regularly
No,
and really...
not necessarily. Not necessarily. I just like my house would look like a hotel.
So what's the first thing you do?
First thing I'd do, first of all, is now this is going to sound weird, but it's a tradition in the Niger Delta to always.
What? What? What?
Check your guests' bags.
Handbags.
Check it.
When they come
Really?
in here,
I'll tell you a story. I
Wait.
was very young. I
So
lived
are
in
you the
Abuja.
guest or is she the guest?
She's the guest. I lived in Abuja and I invited somebody over.
Okay.
The person takes a pee break, goes to the bathroom and comes back very wobbly. And I'm like, why on earth are you wobbly? I went over to check inside of the bathroom. Everything seemed okay. It wasn't until after when I searched and I found some contraband in her bag that were very implicative.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I would be very wary of that after then. Because, I mean, imagine what could happen if NDLE and I entered.
Oh, goodness.
You know, and from that day, I was very, wary about the kind of people that I invited over.
so this story now you sound like Titi somehow.
Please do tell.
I didn't expect the way you took it.
Where?
You took
But
where
this is
you
from a
went.
live experience that I had,
feel you.
so it's
I
just
feel
made me
you.
very
I
wary.
think that for most people, what they do is they start with toilets because when you look at a house, I feel like your toilet should be, I don't know, it should be
Indicative
sacred.
of the kind of person that
You are. It's sacred. It's hallowed. You know, for some people, the toilet and the bathroom are in the same space. This is Lagos.
Yeah.
So maybe if for me, there are times when I would spend more time in the shower.
I agree with you.
In the shower. So that's where I spend. So
relaxation
in fact,
spot.
when I go back to the family house in Port Harcourt, when I want to take my bath, they always make sure everybody has gone in. So
Because you're going to spend like a year in there.
30 minutes or so, you know, and then by the time I come, my eyes are red and all of that. So yes, I think a lot of girls, they'll check the toilet first.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, if I go, I don't know, I don't tend to want to do anything like that. Just chill where I am. I don't want to
As
go
a guest.
investigation. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine you put your hand inside a guest bag and
There
you're
is a bleed.
No,
So-
they just catch you.
Like, oh no, I was just helping you put it. It
So
was
funny
What
falling.
do you say?
I don't know, man. I haven't thought that far yet.
So funny story. A particular gentleman when I was I used to live in the staff quarters. Particular guy came to my bathroom area, and he said he just wanted to check out the bathroom, and it wasn't because of hygiene. He said it was because he had once visited a lady who had some adult toys
Oh wow.
that she had been using.
And what's wrong with that?
Size was a factor. Just dropping that there. Yeah.
But I will jump on.
So, but that was
Okay,
the
but yeah,
issue.
but I feel like if I was going to check, I would do the bathroom. I don't really care about the kitchen
Yeah.
so much. Yes, and for a kitchen being clean, so for me, so there's some people who wash. Okay, so there are some plates that I wash almost immediately, but most of the time when I'm done eating, I'm too full or tired to wash at that moment.
Or lazy. It's okay.
No, don't use lazy. That word is selectively lazy. Yes, you have to be lazy as well. So, but then if I soak gari or something, I would rinse off the plate almost
Yeah,
at once.
that doesn't take
But
much.
last night I took fufu and
Wow.
ogbono.
So that settled you. You sank.
I could not watch
You
plate.
sank.
I could not watch.
But real quick,
That was the first thing me like.
real quick,
I could not watch
something
the
that
plate.
I've done in my entire career, now I'm taking it to a career platform, the career side of things now, is this, that when I do an interview at a place, and if I have options, I always ask to use the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so much you can tell
From
what
the organization.
about the organization, about their
How is our bathroom here?
It's very
wow.
clean, actually. Very, very
Okay.
clean.
So-
So that's something that you need to also take note of.
Can I wrap it up
Yeah, sure,
with
go ahead.
something? I wanted to wrap it up with this. When you're visiting someone for the first time, please share your location with a trusted friend or family member, because you just never ever know. Just share your location with someone. Let everyone know where you are. At
Especially
least
these
one
days in
person
time.
know where you are.
Yeah.
In the times we find ourselves, you just never know. All right, guys.
That's good. That was a very interesting one. Now let's go find other people who are wearing the same ashrabi as us. We'll be back.
Hello and welcome back to Wake Up Nigeria. It's time for parenting this Tuesday morning. And this topic is one a lot of parents might have had some challenges with. We're looking at sleep training babies. We have a parenting expert with us today, Oluyemisi Agoro. Now, she's a family-oriented lady who dedicates herself daily to unlearning and relearning skills and methods to increase her ability and capacity as she finds balance as a career woman, as a wife, and as a mom. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so sleep training. A lot of parents don't realize that this is actually a thing. But as a parent of multiples, I had to Google that myself and figure that out. But it's different for everyone.
Yes, it is.
When does sleep training begin, and what exactly does it entail?
Right. First of all, the thing you need to know is that it's not absolutely necessary to sleep train your child.
Okay.
Children have different sleep needs per age. Okay, so you have to decide how you want your own life to look. Are you okay with waking up 3 times every night for almost 2 years, you know, or would you want to do something about it? If you do want to do something about it, you can start from 4 months, right?
Okay.
However, I don't really agree with with what is currently known as sleep training.
Okay.
In the Western
Or Februarizing, is that the word?
No, that's a method. So
That's
there are
a
different
method.
methods. There's Cry-It-Out, there's Februarizing, there's the chair method, there's put up, put down method. There's another name for that one. You know, there are different methods, so you choose the one you want.
Okay.
There's also the full feedings method, which is more in line with what I agree with.
Okay, so let's talk about this full feeding method, which is something I think I tried myself, which sort of links your mindset with if the baby is full and comfortable,
Right.
the baby should sleep,
Right.
unless there's some other problem,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
But then, for parents that have no experience with this, what would you advise they do to sort of get into that method?
Right. So you need to look at life from a holistic perspective, right? You can't isolate their sleep. So for you to get them to sleep right at night, you have to fix the whole day.
Okay.
First of all, they need to get enough calories in during the day so that their body does not demand food at night.
Okay.
So if your child doesn't eat enough during the day, I'm sorry, but they will wake up hungry at night. That even happens to adults.
Of course.
So don't feel like your child is after your life if they are waking up hungry at night, right? The second thing you need to know is that there's something called sleep pressure. It means keeping the child long enough that their body is tired enough to keep the child awake long enough so that they can sleep when they do go to sleep. For example, if you woke up from a nap at 6 p.m., it's hard for you to go to bed at 8 p.m. because you're just not tired. You know, you literally just woke up. So by the time you fuse these two things together, you realize that you need to feed your child at least 5 times during the day, depending on the age. You know, at least 5 times during the day. And, well, anything from 3 to 5 times during the day, depending on age. And also ensure that they are not taking too many naps during the day.
Okay. So a lot of people have challenges with that because they feel whenever baby sleeps, allow the baby to sleep.
Oh, my goodness.
So I love that laugh because I've had a few arguments with parents who just feel, you know, once baby's asleep, let baby sleep.
Oh, no.
Whereas if, for instance, you decide to wake baby up, they claim, oh, it will give baby a headache, oh, you're stressing the child. So what's your advice?
Wake the baby up. You have to have a plan. Your baby has to have a routine. Okay, so babies usually wake up around the same. Your baby's not a robot, so will not follow a strict timetable every day. But you have a general idea that the baby wakes up at 7, has a bottle, then takes a bath, and then plays for at least about 2 hours, and takes a morning nap for about an hour.
Yeah.
You have a rough sketch of your day plan, right? That's called the routine. So if the baby is sleeping longer than, in fact, no baby should sleep more than 2 hours during the day.
Okay.
Because it's going to affect night sleep.
At a go.
At a go, yes.
Yes.
Because it's going to affect night sleep. Babies have a required number of hours they need to sleep that is optimal in a 24-hour window.
So is it right to assume that babies are asleep more than they're awake in 24 hours?
Depending on the age, yeah.
So a newborn, let's talk newborns. As soon as baby is born, they're mostly in and out of sleep.
Newborns sleep anything from 16 to 20 hours a day.
Okay, so baby's awake for about 4 hours, and most of the time that's at night.
Yeah. In fact, a newborn is a classic example of when you need to wake baby up. Because they will just, all they know is to sleep. They haven't been fed in the womb. There was no activity in the womb. All they know is basically open your eyes, look around, oh, this is a void, and then sleep back.
Okay.
Right? So in cases of newborns, you absolutely have to wake them up to eat.
Yeah.
You have to wake them up to see the world.
Okay.
Because they need to start adapting. You have to wake them up to be able to, start eliminating day and night confusion because they don't know day versus night.
Of course.
So that's even a classic example of if you leave them, they will sleep 20 hours. You need to wake them up to be able to balance them out.
Okay, so what we did was we had like a 2-hour interval between feeds and changes, which was like military precision, as in alarms on my phone, wake that baby up kind of. But then again, there was something we did at the end of the day, talking about feeding a heavier feed at night. As quickly as possible.
I do that. So what I do for my toddler now is he eats swallow every other night. It's just heavy. It takes a longer time to digest. They sleep full, sated, and
All right then. I have to say thank you for joining us. And of course, I know a lot of parents will have some questions. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Tag us at TVC Connect. And hopefully we'll be able to answer some of them for you. We'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right then. Now, Mike is having a swell time in the kitchen, I see. How's it going, Mr. Mesikeno?
It is going good. Good morning. Welcome. This is The Kitchen, Wake Up Nigeria, and I have Chef Flora in the house. You're welcome, Chef Flora.
You're welcome.
It's great to have you. Good morning. You are welcome. And today, we are doing okra.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Talk to us. What are we cooking today?
So we are preparing okra soup.
Okra soup.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go around the ingredients that we have that we're working with, yeah? Okay, let's go straight to it.
First of all, I have my okra. Okra is in season now, and it's very, very...
Okra is seasonal, yeah?
Yes, so we can always take advantage of it. It's a cleanser. It has a lot of nutritional benefits like iron. If you are short of blood or you are anemic in any way, okra can always help. So it's a very, very good vegetable. So we also have, I have my meat here. I have my crab. Crab is very high in calcium and phosphorus, and it's very, very nutritious as well. I have my crayfish here. I have my beef. I have my and
like this one.
some pieces of cow leg to,
Is that towel inside this thing? Is it shaki here?
No.
But it's looking very nutritious.
Yeah, so
and then we have pala. Hey! 2 hands here for pala.
To block.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So I have my palm oil, I have my stock, and I have my scent leaf to, flavor it. Scent leaf is very good for calming the tummy. A lot of people look at okra like it disturbs their tummy, but when you put scent leaf, it calms.
Wonderful. I hope you're able to speak that. For those of you who might feel you're allergic to okra. Now, is it okra or some people call it okra also?
Yeah, the two is correct.
Okay, so let's get started. I know we already have some water boiling here.
I have my boiled water, and I'm just going to parboil
So, okay, I'm learning. So this is the first thing that goes in, yeah?
Just parboil it a little bit.
A little bit. So I know some people who would cook some paste and put the raw okra inside the food and all that. That one flies also, right?
Yeah. But I just prefer parboiling before.
Wonderful. Okay. Wonderful. Now, something I want to tell you about okra, or okra as the case may be, it is rich in magnesium, in folate, fiber, antioxidants, and then there's vitamin C, K1, and A. There's no vitamin D. Maybe Titi would have loved if there was vitamin D, but it's just C, K1, and A. And yeah, that's it. So okra is quite very good. And like you mentioned, you said this, the scent leaf, yeah, you use it to maybe douse that. I like that. So I know I have a number of people who don't take okra, who maybe they don't take ogbono and all of that, but scent leaf can help. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long will this parboil for?
Just for like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Is there anything going into this, or
no,
we just not yet?
Yes.
Okay, so this one, all right. So while this is going on, this is our stock, right? Our stock. I love this. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. So you also mentioned the health benefits. It's quite this is food or soup that is actually would I say, cosmopolitan. It's worldwide. It's something that is not just only in Africa.
It's well accepted.
It is well accepted even around the world because, like I mentioned, the okra that is used for this is wonderful. It's a great antioxidant. Something that you can use, something that can use very nice. Yeah. But let's talk about crab. Does crab have any benefits?
Yes, it has calcium.
It has calcium.
Yes.
Okay, that's for the bones and all of that, yeah?
Yes,
I've not been so much of a crab fan, you know, but this is, some people call this seafood okra, what you're doing here now.
Yes,
okay. So we have some elements of seafood because we have the crab inside here. If maybe we had prawns, and maybe that would have even pushed it further, but we're just doing normal okra here. Yeah. But this is going to be quite rich, yeah? Okay. My director is talking about all his eyes. He has been directing since, but it's more fish that is inside his eyes. This director. We've talked about it. Panla is number one. You are not eating this panla. This panla. I love panla, by the way. I love panla, by the way.
It's a white fish, and it's also high.
Okay, when you say white fish, what are the classifications? Do we have red fish, I think?
The white fish, no, as in, it doesn't have too much oil in it.
Okay.
So most white fish doesn't have too much omega-3.
Okay.
In them.
All right, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So this is it. The first stage, like we showed you, the okra goes inside. Like you can see what Chef Flora is doing. We are whisking it. So you don't just let it be that way. You whisk it so that it can go.
It's done now.
It's done now.
Done, yes.
All right, wonderful. We'll get to show you the next process in the kitchen here. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us after the break. We'll be right back here.
And you're welcome back. It's still the first hour here for a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. And on our health segment today, we'll be discussing glaucoma, which is something everybody wants to know about. In fact, it's called the thief of sight. Now, joining me in the studio today is Dr. Okra Soup, an alumnus of the University of Benin. He is a clinical research optometrist with an extensive scope of work that has seen him practice across geographical zones. You are welcome, Mr. Okra.
Thanks so much.
Did I get that right? Are you from Benin?
No, I'm from Delta.
Delta State, either one or the other. That's nice. Good to have you here.
My pleasure.
I've had my experience with doctors, optometrists about the subject of glaucoma. They've impressed it on me that once you're past 40, you need to get checks. And these checks are, I wouldn't say lugubrious, but they are very specific kinds of tests, the pressure tests and all of that. But first, let's start from a doctor to a layman in describing or defining what glaucoma exactly is.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's very key. Let's use the layman definition to be able to carry people along. So glaucoma is actually a condition that simply affects the back of your eyes.
The back?
Yeah, the posterior portion of your eyes.
Okay.
All right, so there is this connection between the eye and the brain. Mm-hmm. So images that are seen by the eyes, of course, are related to the brain for interpretation. And this channel is what glaucoma actually targets. So severing the connection between the eyes and the brain. So consequently, you have an eye that is open but doesn't see. So that's simply what glaucoma is. Something that just affects the posterior portion of the eyes, the back of the eye specifically.
Okay, so this results in blindness, and it's not a sudden thing. It's the reason why it's called the thief of time. It's like it creeps up on you.
Yes.
So exactly what process goes on while it's creeping up on you?
That's actually very tricky. Because most times, the reason why it's actually referred to as the silent thief of sight, is because you do not, there is no active process going on that you are aware of as a patient. So as a matter of fact, there are no symptoms for glaucoma. Basically what you have are signs.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and it's actually very important to distinguish between both of them. So there are signs, there are symptoms. Symptoms, we're talking about what the patient observes, what the patient notices, you know, redness and all of that. Those are symptoms. Okay. But then signs are the things that the doctor would have to look into the eyes and observe. So for example, if you look into the patient's eyes and then you're observing some glaucomatous changes.
What are these changes? What are these signs exactly?
That's the thing. There are no symptoms. So you just have signs. And if I have to go into the signs, I don't think I'll be able to carry you along.
As a layperson, yeah, I get you.
So there is actually an anatomical structure at the back of the eyes that is referred to as the optic nerve head. Okay. All right. So this is clinically what optometrists or doctors have to look, have to examine in the process to give a diagnosis.
So while you've noted that there are no signs, what would the patient be experiencing, however, that could be a indication?
it's annoying. The patient doesn't experience anything. There is no redness, there is no pain, there is no itching, but then vision gradually deteriorates. From the periphery,
so
actually.
If this, for instance, was, well, I can actually see the plant and some of the books.
Exactly.
So am I healthy, first of all? I know that's not a good diagnosis. But are you saying that my vision slowly narrows?
That's exactly how glaucoma affects your vision. So a lot of people actually have this misconception that, oh, I can see something so far away.
So I'm good.
Yeah, so I'm actually good. Whereas glaucoma doesn't typically affect how far you can see, but then how wide you can see. So it gradually creeps your vision, you know, from the periphery until eventually all you have is just a tunnel vision. You're just able to look straight ahead, and every other thing around is actually
that's going to affect your life.
And that's actually a very good example. I think you've done a lot of research on glaucoma.
Well, like I said, yes, indeed, because, I have had plenty of talk with doctors.
While at home, I think we should even encourage patients to do that. While at home, you just, you know, stretch out your arms, and then while looking straight ahead, I'm not looking at my hands, but I can actually see my hands. Do you get? But for some persons, they'll have to tilt the head a little bit before they notice something in their... Okay, that's actually too far back.
No, but I can actually still see my hands.
Okay, great. So you have very awesome field of vision.
Yeah, Mike, can you see your hands when you do that? If you're not too focused on the food.
So you should actually do that, you know, once in a while. But that's not enough to actually make a clinical diagnosis of glaucoma. It is just an at-home attempt, you know, of finding out things or of getting interested in your visual health.
Oh, wow, very interesting. Now, I'm going to go on and ask what causes it exactly. Are there habits or lifestyle choices that could cause glaucoma?
Yes, there are. Of course, there are risk factors to developing glaucoma. One of them is age. Older people are more at risk of developing glaucoma above the age of 40, but it doesn't therefore limit glaucoma to only older people. Of course, there are congenital cases of glaucoma, that children who are born with glaucoma, for example. Yes, you have juvenile onset, you have juvenile onset of glaucoma and all of that. So it's not really an age something per se, but then age is a risk factor. Of course, high blood pressure is also another risk factor. Patients who are hypertensive, patients who are diabetic, you know, all of those are actually risk factors. And then there's something we call the intraocular pressure. It's just the same way you have the blood pressure, you know, for general systemic. So you also have the intraocular pressure for your eyes, and this is actually very key. It's actually one of the highest risk factors. So the standard, just like we have the blood pressure 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury, we also have a range of pressures for your eyes. You know, should be between 11 to 21 millimeters of mercury. So when you have your eye pressures higher than 21, over a period of time, that's actually a very high risk. You know, there's actually a very high risk of the person developing glaucoma. And then also a family history of glaucoma. That's actually very important. So nothing necessarily needs to be wrong with you, but the fact that probably your grandfather
had it,
your mother, you know, a first-degree relative, for example, a second-degree relative actually even has glaucoma, also increases the likelihood of the person getting glaucoma.
Now, lifestyle choices, before I go into my next question. For instance, if you smoke or drink plenty, that could also be a factor, yes? Now, to add to that, now what do I need to do or not do to reduce these risks?
Okay, yes, so lifestyle adjustments, of course. We're talking about lifestyle activities. We're talking about smoking, heavy consumption of alcohol and all of that. Those are risk factors to developing glaucoma as well. But it's important to note also that there's also the issue of susceptibility that we have to talk about. So the fact that we say smokers are liable to die young doesn't mean every smoker will die young. So there are some persons that, for example, would have a lifetime of smoking cigarettes and not get any form of issues with their liver, for example. There are some persons who will take just a few sticks and then we have them in the hospital. So susceptibility is actually key. Smoking, drinking, all of that, yes, but it doesn't mean, it's very important to note here, it doesn't mean that you smoke, you have glaucoma.
Real quick roundup and an advice for everyone, what to note about glaucoma, real quick.
I think generally what we have to note is just to be aware of ourselves, be aware of our medical history, as well as our family medical history.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Makbari. Very good that you're here. I'm hoping that you'll be back next week so that we can expand further on
the grace
the
of
subject.
God, of course.
Please
of
do
course.
come back.
All right.
Thank you very much. Now, do stay tuned. The kitchen is sizzling already. Mike seems to think he's a sous chef today. I don't know. Mike, yeah.
I can see my hands like this.
Mike, that's too much.
Okay, all right. That was quite an insightful discussion there. Let's get straight to the kitchen. Chef Flora, we've already moved to the next phase. Now, let's get you straight into it. We put the oil in, and it just simmered for about, 10 seconds?
Yes.
So what we have inside
we warm
here...
the oil with the onions.
Okay, with the onions, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so with the onions went in immediately, and then our crabs went in. So that's all. Yeah, so I hope you can get to see it very soon. And that's it. So our crabs have gone in and all that. So our beef is going straight in. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So it's coming together already. It's coming together already. Of course, we also mentioned that we have seasoning cubes here, if we didn't say that the first time. So once the beef enters, our pomo and broccoli, all of that things have gone in. So that's it. That's what you can see. And that's quite very well. What's the English name for manala self?
Stockfish.
Okay, so stockfish. Yeah.
The family of.
Okay. There's a family of stockfish and all of that. I was surprised that. Please, we don't want distraction here. My director and my producer, Olamide and Sheguna, they're already wondering what they're eating with. You're not seeing this thing. It's from here. This is missing. Me and MM. We already have plans for this food, so all of you should just stay there. Just me, MM, and the guests. By the way, okay, so you mentioned, I know that, it was a stockfish I heard that is imported from Norway or so. Is it stockfish? I know that there's a particular fish that I was shocked when I found out we don't have it here, that we have to import it from Norway or something. And I was like, wow, it's even in Europe. I'll do more research on that and let you know. But we have this here. And this is all coming good together. This is dry pepper, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, okay, we didn't get to show you this at the beginning, but we also have our dry pepper here. I love the way. These are scent leaf, yeah?
Yes.
That we already cut down. Wonderful. Our pepper is going in. Oh, this is already looking spicy and feisty in here. If you just joined in, we are preparing okra soup. To some of you know it as okra. It's okra soup that we're preparing today. We have some elements of seafood in this particular okra soup, and it looks quite delicious. Now, a number of people, I know that some people are allergic towards crayfish. I know some people are. But you said the scent leaf can help douse some of these things.
No. What I mean is, when you eat okra, most people, when they eat okra, their tummy begins to give a sound.
Okay, so but for those that don't like crayfish, what else can we use? You can just take it out.
Yes, it's optional.
All right,
the crab is optional.
Okay.
You can use whatever meat that you like.
Yes. Wonderful.
That's
you can use asun. We are in the spirit. Chef
so you can use goat meat.
You can
use chicken. You can use anything.
Yes. All right, wonderful. So let's get our crayfish inside. So I noticed that there's no water yet. You didn't put any water at all.
Yes, we are using the stock.
This stock. But that comes in like last, after you've had it all fried.
So we'll cover it for some minutes.
All right. Now we're going to cover this for some minutes. This is going to be quite a very insightful one, because when we get back, we'll show you how everything enters. We're not doing anything till you get back. We'll cover this. This will simmer for some minutes. It's Chef Flora in the kitchen here. I'm the sous chef. We're making it happen. It's the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. We'll just take a short break. We'll see you on the flip side.
So I cheated on my fears.
Okay. I was about to call
broke
Oscar.
up with my doubts, and now I'm married to my dream.
Wow.
Welcome to the second hour of the best breakfast show on TV right now.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's very interesting. How scary at the start, but then it made sense in the end. Welcome. For a minute there, Titi, I thought you were about to share a very, very interesting, deep story about your...
Wow. Really? Wow.
Okay.
Only goodness knows what Mazino was expecting to hear. But my name is Titilaya Oyinso.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. But hey, by the way, just wanted to say that, deja vu, when you thought you've relived or you're reliving past experiences, there's also something called deja rêve.
Really?
Deja rêve means you're experiencing something you felt in a dream or you had in a dream. There's two different ones. So, deja rêve, right there.
Really? You experienced something in a dream?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
Got some of that information.
Don't worry, we're teaching you little things, little tidbits here and there, and we have loads of those. Trust us. Stay with us. Remember, you can also stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, in a moment we're going to be telling you what we have left for the rest of the hour here, but wanted to make a quick note. Inside of the kitchen, by the way, Mike, you guys are really trying. I'm loving what it's looking like, especially all the talk about the banla and okra
the fish
and
the seafood.
Look at that, look at that.
So what goes in next, man?
Okay,
Oh, the okra is
the final thing. That will be the final. Is this ready?
Wow.
It's almost ready. Okay, I just want to show you all the process to get to see how it is. But this is this will simmer for about we've simmered this for about 5 minutes. So okay, this is the final thing. Seasoning cubes will enter. Oh wow. So this
Love
is
it.
What happens, what is unique about today is that you saw every single process of what we are doing today. So our seasoning cubes is getting in. We're not going back to Mazino and Titi yet because the noises are coming from them. You know, you guys are making me go, whoa, this is looking very nice. As it stands, please, I just need to mention to the security.
Wow.
Now that Olamide and Halima, Olamide, both senior producers, they have threatened me and MM. So anything should happen to us today, Olamide or Shofa and Halima, two of them, please, if anything should happen to us, and Shegun is their accomplice, there are three laughing there, Shegun director, three of you, okay? Let's see.
All because of food. All because of food.
I already have my water ready, man.
Really?
I'm gonna. It's going down.
Are you sure we shouldn't prepare some boxing gloves on that okra?
It's going down. Get ready.
Let's go.
In any case, we still have such a great show for you. Musical performance coming your way, and Ideji will be joining us in the for a very interesting musical performance.
And finally, we're going to have an interesting conversation with Julie Ako. Now, she's an award-winning filmmaker, passionate about telling impactful stories. When it comes to films and so much more, we're going to be talking about that very soon. Can't wait to meet her. Yes,
Welcome back. Second half for Tuesday here, and something very interesting I have to talk about. Now, I'm not a big sports fan. I'm not a big football fan, but yesterday I had to get interested with what was happening between Nigeria and Sao Tome. Titi, have you ever heard of a scoreline like 10-0? 10-1 maybe, 10 to 10-3, but 10-0. I think we overdid it, Mike.
Did we?
Really? We got to 5.
Competitive matches have gone as high as 30.
What?
Oh,
in fact, there's a match that's gone as high as 60. Some have been fixed. In South Africa, some teams were relegated because they fixed the match and scored over 40 goals. And they were punished. But some competitive matches, you know, people talk about minnows in football. And yes, some people might not agree. There are still minnows. But then if you don't prepare well, you'll be shocked. But yesterday, Nigeria scored the most goals we've ever scored in any match. Ever.
10.
All three. And that was 10-0. And
but does that affect the points?
Okay, so this might not affect so much because it is a much smaller team. So imagine if we beat France 10-0. It will affect
so I was going to ask that. It wasn't because we were prepared or because the team was...
The team is a very small team, and I think we're a little bit more prepared. It gives some Nigerians some glimmer of hope because we lost out at the World Cup to Ghana. It was quite painful. And because they could not score, we needed just one goal. So the people are like, you scored 10, we just needed one in Lagos, in Abuja, pardon me, and we didn't get it. But I don't know if we could see some clips of that. But hey, come on, Victor Osimhen scored 4 goals. It was shocking.
Like everybody in the team could have just got 1 goal.
I'm telling you. Just share it around.
My turn. I beg.
Okay.
I like that.
Goodness me. But I'm thinking about the other team. How demoralized they must have been
They
after.
might not be. So this is what happens. You get to some teams and what happens that for some small footballing nations, I remember a time when Faroe Islands got together Masons, Smith's men and all that, fishermen to come and play.
Wow.
Because they didn't have a professional football league. So it happened. So some of them, it's just being there.
Yeah, Sao Tome is a small nation anyway. So
and that's what I love about the Olympics. You know, cities, alters, fortis. The Olympics will tell you, look, let's just get everybody. The joy is in competing. Yes, you might not pick the medals, you might not come first. For the fact that you have over 200 nations come together, and in some small ways, some people that will not, you know. So that's it, and that's inclusive, you know, feel.
At least it gives us a glimmer of hope when it comes to the African Cup of Nations. But then again, for the World Cup, however, that's all. Nothing went our way. So we were talking yesterday about how much we lost.
It's big. It's big. We'll feel it more when it gets closer to December. I mean, it's a precursor. to the holiday period, and we're not going to be there. It's just Qatar. It's going to be the most technologically advanced stadium. We can be sitting like this in the stadium, and you can be using a cooler, and she'll be using a heater in the same stadium.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Isn't it interesting when Mike says words like precursor? He looks very. It's a precursor.
Mike is a thesaurus on his own.
No, the way he looks.
But then I must give it that soup.
Hello, good to see you again. You're watching the news on Wake Up Nigeria, and we absolutely appreciate it. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's get things started in Rivers State, where supporters of the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have predicted victory for the party in the 2023 presidential elections. That was the message when a large crowd of party faithful took to the streets of Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, and some rural communities to celebrate his emergence from the APC presidential primary. Senior reporter Okra has more in this report.
For some hours, the Port Harcourt International Airport looked more like the venue of a carnival than a transit point for air passengers. Thousands of women, men and youth gathered to receive the most vocal supporter of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this part of the South-South region, Senator Magnus Abe. Having worked hard for their preferred flag bearer in the build-up to the APC presidential primary, Senator Abe is leading this procession to celebrate the outcome. This was also a means of reminding Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's supporters of the task ahead to ensure victory in the 2023 presidential election. From Port Harcourt, the procession headed for Bera community in Gokana local government area. For them, the APC presidential candidate holds the key to unlocking Nigeria's economic potentials.
There is no other person in Nigeria that can do what the Jagaban of Africa can do. I want to tell you people, forget the kitty and the kata. The next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
The outcome of the Rivers State APC governorship primary casts a shadow on that of the party's presidential primary in Abuja. But Senator Abe is still confident that in 2023, the electorate will get a chance to choose between him and other governorship candidates.
It is Rivers people that will take the decision as to who will govern them. And you are the Rivers people. I have said this from day one, and I will continue to say it to the end. My own name is Senator Magnus Ngei Abe. I will be on that ballot.
The crowd also witnessed the launch of Project Senator Magnus Abe 2023, an initiative to drive their campaign in the build-up to Election Day. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Gokana.
Well, let's take you outside Nigeria, where Amnesty International has accused Russia of war crimes during its efforts to capture the northeastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. In a new 40-page report, Amnesty documented the alleged use of cluster munitions and other indiscriminate means of attacks. The report states that the repeated bombardments of residential neighborhoods in Kharkiv and indiscriminate attacks which killed and injured hundreds of civilians, and as such constitute war crimes. Amnesty's researchers say they documented 7 strikes in different areas of Kharkiv where they found fins and pellets of cluster munitions. Now, more than 120 countries have signed a treaty prohibiting the use of the weapons, though neither Russia nor Ukraine are signatories. And with that report, we wrap things off here on the news. At this time, thank you so much for your company. I am Kelly Egiga. I would urge you to stick around here for the rest of Wake Up Nigeria. Good morning.
Welcome, people. Finally, we're joined by Julie Ako.
Which one is it? Is it Ako?
Ako.
I got it.
Yes.
See, I told
She's
ya.
a writer-director who began her career in 2016 with the award-winning short film Trilogy Ajechi, Bride Untangled, which she co-wrote and directed. Went on to win the Best Student Film Award at AFRI 2021 and was also nominated for the MTF. The MTF prize, although graduating with a BSc in computer science. Julie's, well, more interested in unraveling what now? The untapped layers of African storytelling and also advancing the film.
And now that Mazino's given her entire CV on air, we get to meet the amazing Julie Ako.
Good to have you here,
Welcome.
Julie.
Thank you.
A bundle of amazingness. Thank you
too.
so much for joining us.
I don't want to get
Thank you for
started on
having
your
me.
dreads because I'm a dread lover.
Oh.
I like
I
people
love
who
dreads.
like dreads.
Point up for me.
So one day you're going to have to dread this hair.
I'm
One
keeping
day.
it, so perhaps.
We have a hairstylist that we can get on that
You
just
should.
because of this
Well,
reaction.
Julie.
But I really want to find out, how your mind works. This unraveling of the layers of African storytelling. You have a special word for it.
Yeah.
What is it? What is that word?
Albancho.
Albancho.
Albantu. What is that?
Albancho.
Albancho.
Yeah.
Where is it from? What does it mean?
It's a portmanteau of two African words, Nigerian word for onion and Setswana word for black.
Okay.
It means black onions.
Black onion.
Black onions.
Nice.
So obviously peeling back onions, you said unraveling,
Unraveling
unwrapping.
the different layers of African storytelling.
Oh.
Yes.
Why the focus on storytelling? Why the focus on African storytelling?
Because, for the longest time, we've had to take the backseat to see and watch others tell our stories for us. So we do know that we have part of our culture. It's natural to, to translate culture through storytelling. It's part of who we are. But we would not say exactly that we have been able to attain perfection in terms of telling it properly, in terms of telling on a global scale where other cultures or other people can benefit from the stories that we're telling. So unraveling means there is so much more that we can do, but there is something there. And that's why. And I strongly believe that technology is one of the easiest ways to, move, your content from one place to another.
Okay.
It's also kind of like a bridge. So we decided what's the best way to show the world what we are telling. It's creating that bridge using technology.
Amazing. So not only are you writing, not only are you creating content, but you're also helping others who want to get their stories out there. I think that's really amazing stuff. And I love the combination of those two words. That's Albancho.
Yes.
So you said Setswana and Yoruba for onion.
Albasa.
Albasa.
Albasa is Hausa.
So alubosa is what I know it as in Yoruba.
Albasa is Hausa. Albasa is also my language. I'm from Isako, Edo State.
Wow, onion. Okay, interesting.
Very interesting.
So now we've got loads of stories out there.
Yeah.
Are we actually telling them the right way? It does feel like a lot of negative sides to the African stories are what's being put out there.
It's part of the challenge currently, but there's also a lot of people telling very authentic, very nuanced African stories. But I think the distribution to the mainstream is where it is harder. So we need more of the stories to be consumed by the populace so you get inspired by them and see that your people are actually doing amazing. We've seen it with literature, books. I mean, Chimamanda is out there and she's telling really authentic African stories from our perspective for a global audience and ourselves. So we can do this across board, across all genres. Filmmaking is such a powerful tool, and I strongly believe that a good screenplay, would definitely yield a good film. So it is the foundation.
I've got questions for you regarding your anthology, the one you put together, the short stories and all. But first off, let's see one of these. Let's take a look at one of your work. And then when we get back, I'll be asking you about how your process and everything. Let's check this one out.
Oh.
Now, see what I meant by why I want to know what thought process you go through when you put together these stories. Now, I would never have seen that kind of a scene and then had that kind of a voiceover put together. They're two very separate type of, and they pass very unique informations. But you were able to put it together. It came together like a sandwich. And it works well to pass that information. One, that you are passing information that you have to filter first. And two, if you're going to be drinking water,
you have to know the source.
Don't take it out of a
You have
stream.
to know the source.
Know your source, please. That's very interesting. How do you put together these images and thoughts?
Well, first, one of the things we thought in filmmaking is that it's a visual medium. So you want to be able to, apart from tell your stories, you want it to have a lasting imagery. And I feel like before I tell stories, I want to find, that imagery that conveys the message, some sort of like a metaphor or the theme, the driving theme for the story. So when I thought about misinformation, I sift through different ideas that represents, in terms of visually. Because it's vague when you say misinformation, and a lot of people in the village.
Exactly. You also got an award for that piece, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes. It was
recognition.
It was for the United States Horse campaign.
Okay.
So we had to pitch our ideas, and a couple of us were selected across Africa. I think mine was the one from West Africa.
Nice.
Amazing. And I don't think I'm ever going to forget that image right now.
Nope. Especially the very first scene was like, let's introduce you to this slap. Ouch. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's touch on something a little closer to home. Bride Untangled.
Okay.
You want to tell us a little bit about that particular story and how that came about?
Yeah, so I was a student of Multi-Choice Talent Factory 2020, and part of our closing out project was to create a feature film, but we couldn't do that because of COVID. So we decided to do short films. Okay. And then we had like group sessions where we brainstormed, and we had different people come up with story ideas. So we had this story from one of the team members. Basically, we're talking about the different other cultures about in Nigeria that hasn't been explored yet. And when it came on the table, we said, okay, we didn't want it to be one particular culture. How can we make a mismatch of everything? So you could see that the bride is from the eastern or the southern side, but you can't particularly say where, you know, and then you know that the groom is from the west, but you can't exactly say where. So it's a collision of cultures and what can result out of like misunderstanding. Okay. And then when you have those misunderstandings, sometimes you think that you are on the right, but it's just a matter of perspective. Wow. And that was what we were trying to do with the story.
Akko, I wish that your mind was a place I could visit, because I would like to dive into your waters of talent and bathe in it.
Oh, gosh.
Please tell me where the address is. I would like to come. In any case, it was fantastic having you and experiencing you in person here, and also your work. Fantastic
and
stuff.
Good luck with Alban Show. I love the name. I love the way your mind works with that.
Thank you.
And yeah, there's finally like a ride-hailing app for screenwriters.
Ah, interesting. That's exactly what it is.
It is.
Yes.
Let's bring you over to the kitchen, because we have something cooking. Very delicious. Please come over.
Come on.
Do you need help? I could
wow, Mazino.
You can, yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be right here.
Take care of her.
Wow.
Okay. I mean,
what is going on here today?
Wonderful.
Okay. Ooh, that looks good.
Did you go that way?
Why?
Because I need to focus on our guests.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay, hey, come on, we're right here in the kitchen, and Chef Flora puts this wonderful okra soup.
Hi, Flora.
It was well prepared here with a lot of love.
I can tell.
Yeah, our heart, and the story behind this food. Can you just tell us a little bit the story behind it? Because she loves stories.
Stories.
Just tell us a short story behind this.
Okay, this is Okra Soup, and is well accepted, in our environment, and it's highly nutritional and have a lot of health benefits.
All right.
So just try. Just take a bite of
leave this one here now.
What? Benny. So just try this.
Okay, what's this?
That's mama.
No. This is.
Okay, this is
fufu.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
bad. That is fufu. Unmistakable.
Unmistakable fufu.
Fufu in the leaf.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Really? This soundtrack you're giving us.
I can't help it. I just.
Wow.
That's really good, yeah.
You like it?
I love it.
Well,
that is the smile we were looking for. Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you. The whole studio is, in fact, engulfed with the
Wonderful,
aroma of this
wonderful.
okra soup. And Mike is putting a hand on his chest. That tells you something.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that.
All right.
Was it a short film or the infomercial?
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. It was something else. Keep it up.
Yes.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done. That's it on the show today. It's been a
Yeah,
wonderful
so that
time.
you don't get to see the onslaught that these men are going to do with this food.
Was that what
We
you wanted to
need
say?
we need to wrap it up on the show as
We
quickly
are
as
not wrapping
possible.
up yet. What is doing you?
We have another amazing show coming your way
See you
tomorrow
tomorrow.
morning.
Bye-bye.
Well, the guys will be sleeping off the fufu
Not so
tomorrow
much.
because it'll be the Wonder Women Wednesday show, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have
Bye-bye,
a great
everybody.
day, everyone. Bye.